Okay, so one thing I still get asked pretty much every single day is how do I find the best niche for YouTube Shorts automation? And that's despite the fact that I already have a 10-minute video explaining how I actually do this, but today I think I actually found a better way. And just to be clear guys, like I'm not some YouTube automation expert, I am not a guru, I'm not selling a course, but I am fully transparent about all the different channels that I own. So here's one of them, Story Told, with like 10,000 in revenue in the past 90 days or so. We have Loving Creatures, which is way newer, which has probably around 4,000 in revenue in the past like 40 or 50 days. And then we have the motherload of channels. This is my co-founder's channel. And in the past 6 or 7 months, this has done 83K with YouTube Shorts. And then on top of all of that, we have how much money we've been making with music royalties, which is all just additional revenue from all the other channels. Anyways, if you watched this video, which I'll leave in the description, I think this is worth watching first. And by the way, if you already saw this video and you already know everything I'm going to say about it, you can just skip to this timestamp to learn about the new tool that I found that you can use to find better niches a lot quicker. You know that my first piece of advice is to find someone in a niche that's already working and partner with them. That's actually what I did with these animal accounts. And I essentially found someone who was already making money from his niche, but didn't know any editors or didn't know how to outsource it. And so I basically learned his style, replicated the channels with editors, and then split all the extra revenue that I was able to bring him. And I still recommend that strategy, but if you're struggling to find someone who has that, you're going to need a checklist to see if a niche is actually good and if it's one that you should either try starting yourself or partner with. And the checklist is basically this. First of all, the videos on a channel need to be consistently getting over 100,000 views per short. If they can't get at least that, that's probably a bad sign that this niche naturally doesn't have that much demand. Secondly, the videos need to be easy and pretty inexpensive to automate. So if every single video would cost a lot of money to pay an editor or take a ton of time to make, and you can't actually make back more money than the video costs, then it's a pretty bad niche to go into, because even if you were successful with it, you wouldn't be profitable. Third, the videos need to have a barrier to entry and need to be able to be improved upon. So what do I mean by that? You need to pick a video where there's some reason that not everyone can just instantly do it. So I'll give you a couple examples of this. Firstly, you might use some AI tool that costs money, and a lot of other people who are doing YouTube Shorts don't have any money, so they can't compete on that niche. Another example might be specific prompting of an AI tool that other people don't know how to use yet. A third example might be you really understand storytelling well, or you have a really good place to get viral stories that other people don't know about. All of this information increases the barrier to entry and means that other people can't just instantly compete on that exact same niche once they see yours going viral. And then the videos need to be able to be improved. So if you see a video getting over 100K views per short, but at best you could do it the exact same way, that's not necessarily good. You need to not only do it as good, but you need to do it even better to actually overtake the guy who's currently in first place. And then lastly, you need to have original/transformative content. If you don't, you won't be able to get monetized and this whole thing will be stupid. And of course, that's its own process. So I would recommend watching this, what YouTube Shorts are versus aren't monetizable. I'll leave the link in the description to this video as well. And then once you understand this checklist, my advice here was pretty simple, which is you open an incognito tab, you go to YouTube, and you literally start scrolling shorts to see if you can find stuff that meets this criteria. And so this is effective, but it does take long to like get your For You page to what you want, and it's a lot more random chance, and it's also not really the most efficient process. And yesterday, some guy introduced me to a tool he's building, which really helps make this process more efficient. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, I have to make a video on this. Because again, scrolling on here one by one, not finding niche specific things is definitely not the most efficient way to find YouTube Shorts that are potentially viral. So essentially what this guy created is a tool called Verlo. Now I'm going to show you everything that it does and why I think this is actually beneficial in terms of finding a niche efficiently. And by the way, the guy who was showing me this tool, Dennis, was so unbelievably chill. Like you find this so rarely in the make money online space. He hopped on a over 1 hour call with me. He showed me the tool. He asked if there's anything that I would want changed to it or any benefits that it has. And they're really focused on making the absolute best product. So I'll go through everything this tool has. If you guys have anything that you think would make this tool better, they can add this. So they have a whole section called feedback where you can request a new feature or report a bug. And they 100% take that seriously. I know because I was literally on call with this guy. And to make things even better, this guy really is who he says he is. He's been literally running TikTok theme pages for like multiple years at this point and got into YouTube recently as well. So if there's anyone that would be the right person to help build this app, this is the guy. So anyways, let me show you how this works, and then you can tell me whether you think this is helpful for finding a niche more efficiently. I think it is. When you go to the dashboard, it has a bunch of different things. So the first thing you'll notice is outliers. And so the reason they really have this is because when you're scrolling on YouTube and you're trying to find a niche, you don't just want a video that gets a lot of views. You want a video that gets a lot of views compared to that channel's average, because that means that video style is doing something correct, which you can replicate in your videos. So they have a bunch of outliers, and they let you pick the niches that you're trying to find stuff in. So if you go to outlier right here, so right here, instead of scrolling on a YouTube feed with only one short, you can scroll on a feed with just YouTube videos and scroll through 5 at once and see different things. So I can see this one, this one, this one, this one, and as I scroll, I can see what each of these are going to be about, and then actually decide whether I want to watch it or not, rather than having to scroll through one individually. And check this out. This isn't the same for everyone. It has an RNG element, so it's not going to leave stuff oversaturated when everyone uses this. So when I refresh, I get a completely different feed than I did before. And again, this isn't just based on how many views the video got. It's also based on how many views the video got compared to the amount of followers that that channel has. So this video got 128 times as many views as it has followers, which is a good sign, because that means that this content style is getting views even on channels that are small, and if you're just starting out, your channel is also likely pretty small. From here, I can like any of the videos that I have and add it to a collection. So I can create a collection called viral content, and then click add collection box. And then every time I see a video I like, I can just add it to that collection. So let's say, oh, I want to do the would you rather stuff. I can just go, oh, that's viral. I'm going to add this to viral content, add to collection, and boom. And you could do that with any of the videos. So I think this is genuinely helpful and helps you find a niche a lot faster. This is a pretty similar niche to what I do, and we can see this animal video is popping off. So I might look at this and be like, oh, here's a way I can improve my videos. It's definitely not necessary. You can just use YouTube Shorts. I just think this is a more efficient way to find a niche that is actually good and that you would actually be able to succeed in. On top of this, they have something called creator search. So just to show you guys, let's say I looked up my TikTok account, Fly Juggler. It takes a second to load. So let's say I pull from my YouTube instead. The TikTok one looked a little buggy. And there we go. This is pretty cool. So I had it pull from my last 50 videos. It has the total views on it, the total likes, the average engagement rate, the average virality score, the different engagement that I'm getting on each day, the top performing keywords. This doesn't actually happen to matter much for me. Then I can sort all of my shorts by how many views they're getting. So I have can you follow the ball, how to juggle yo-yo, and it shows me all my most viral shorts from the past 50 uploads. Interestingly too, I don't think this is that good yet, but it has the option to generate content ideas. So I just click this, it generates content ideas. See, this is actually true. I posted a juggling tier list video and this did really well, and this outperformed, so this is genuinely a good idea. Mills Mess tutorial, not bad. 5-ball endurance test, that would probably be kind of boring. So these, honestly, as someone who knows juggling, these ideas aren't that bad. They're not formatted in exactly how I would make these viral, but these topics are things I would do. So I'm actually somewhat impressed that it like seems to know a little bit about juggling compared to what the average person would know. Then built into this, they have an easy way to find an editor. They already have vetted editors as part of their thing. So once you start building out your niche and you need an editor, they have people on standby that they can match you with. And yeah, that is Verlo. So in my opinion, this outlier score feature is definitely better than searching on incognito. I think that's pretty indisputable. So most people probably won't have a value objection to this. The question is it worth the price that it costs? And so if you go to Verlo's paying options, you can see their starter plan is $9 per week. Their pro plan is $27 per month. So these are pretty similar. And then their elite plan is $250 per year. Now, is this worth the price? That's more debatable, and it depends on your circumstance. If you have enough money laying around and you just want to make the process of looking for a niche more efficient, I do think it's worth at least the $9 per week to search for a niche and find one. If you're starting out and you want to try YouTube automation for $0, then I think this isn't necessarily worth it. You can still find results by just searching on incognito, and if you have extra time and you want to spend the extra time doing that, you will still be able to find what you need through incognito, just going on YouTube and finding it. But you might be able to just do it faster or easier with a tool like Verlo. So with that being said, this is something I truly think is a better way to find niches on YouTube, a much more efficient and faster way, and potentially will reveal niches that you might have never even seen by scrolling YouTube shorts. So with that being said, the person who created Verlo, Dennis, will be watching this video and he will be looking at the comments. So if there's things that you think should be added to this or that would make this better, he will be looking at your feedback, and you can of course suggest anything to him. And again, when I talked to him, he was so chill and so willing to like figure out what people want and just make that product. So please leave in the comments what you would want added to this and what would make this better. Or if you don't think it's worth the $9, what would make it worth the $9 per week? And if you do want to try Verlo, I'm going to leave the first link in the description. I believe when you first sign in, you get one niche for free. So I recommend going and at least trying that before you decide whether or not you actually want to go through with it. But again, this tool definitely is not necessary. You can achieve the same results by scrolling through YouTube Shorts. I just think it's less efficient and not as good. But while scrolling through Verlo, make sure you have this checklist ready. So that way, when you see videos that meet all of this criteria, you can quickly find the niche that you need and actually start automating it on YouTube. With that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next video, and peace.